Welcome to the second 2013 installment of the Home Stretch. I'm Justin Zipser. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll give you a closer look at some of the summer sports stories here in Naperville. With more than 3,000 entries selling out in less than a day, it's clear that a spot in the Naperville Marathon and Half Marathon is in high demand. But before runners can trek across the city on November 10th, the courses need to be certified according to USA Track and Field standards. Alex Symonds joined race officials as they measured every inch of each course.
It may not look like much, but the nail in the pavement and the paint that goes with it means something. Come late fall, this mark will be transformed into the start and finish line of the Edward Hospital Naperville Marathon and Half Marathon. While the open and close for runners may be set in the pavement now, it's been a vagabond since the race's conception.
Our initial reaction was, how can we possibly do a 26-mile marathon without completely shutting down or impacting the city?
They were a little skeptical at first, but we laid out a course, and this is where having a few years' experience came in very handy. We laid out a course with the goals of minimal footprint, minimal impact to traffic. And that was a course that started out near Neuqua Valley and went south into Plainfield and back.
And in the end, the feedback that we were getting from the community is that the downtown route would actually work better. So we finalized a route that would start and end in downtown Naperville at North Central College and include the heart of the city.
The course agreed upon by marathon and city officials started and ended in downtown, with runners trekking through a portion of northern Bolingbrook. After having trouble getting clearance from the village of Bolingbrook, changes were made once again to make the route travel exclusively through Naperville. With that course approved by the City Council in mid-June, the next step was the rubber meeting the road. Literally. Bixler and course director Tom Minicello had to mount their bikes and measure both layouts, which isn't as high-tech as one would imagine.
We've got a counter that goes on the wheel of a bike. It's called a Jones meter, and this is what USATF recommends for measuring a course. The counter's fairly precise. It'll count 11 clicks, roughly 11 clicks per meter. So one rotation of the tire is 20, 30 some clicks.
What works. And so it is kind of interesting that it's still sort of a mechanical device that's been being used for many years, but if it isn't broke, don't fix it, I say.
The first stop for the duo isn't the starting line, but rather Herrick Lake in South Wheaton, where the pair rides an already certified 500-meter stretch of road to calibrate their Jones counters.
The goal is to know how many clicks on that counter gets you 1 mile. So by riding, we know temperature change, tire pressure change, or different wheels. We know that today, on my bike, it was 17,710 clicks was 1 mile. Based on we ride a 500-meter course, plug it into the spreadsheet, it does the math for us.
After calibration, the team is ready to ride, at times weaving across roads and dismounting to walk around obstacles, the goal being measuring the shortest course possible.
Just like running on the track, we can't measure the outside lane of a track and say that's a quarter mile and have people running on the inside and getting their time for a quarter mile. They're going to get phenomenal times.
Freeze it and go perpendicular. Yeah, we're measuring for a course, and we've got to measure the shortest distance that runners could run so that nobody can be running less than the advertised distance of the race.
And the holy grail of that shortest route possible can put the riders in some hair-raising situations.
You got to be savvy about your safety, and so you're always better off moving off to the side of the road, and the fact that there's two of us helps.
There's a handful of people that are in a hurry, but for the most part the drivers are careful and they're courteous, and they see the vests and they say, okay, something's going on here. This isn't some bozo just riding his bike half asleep the wrong way.
All the while, Craig and Tom have to keep track of their counters to mark each mile and make sure they're still on pace.
Right, we're still 10 off. We're allowed 73 at this point?
Yeah, it's
all right.
Going very well.
Good day so far.
Yeah. Be systematic about it, write everything down,
Yeah.
and if both people are writing it down, that helps, just to double check each other.
Another issue is the terrain. With 7+ miles of the course occurring in various forest preserves, runners will transition from pavement to crushed limestone on multiple occasions, requiring extra care from Craig and Tom. It's why the duo has ridden certain parts of the course more than 20 different times, and in the process gotten plenty of questions.
We have a lot of people that want to sit down and talk. Okay. And we want to do that as much as possible, but we're also on a timeline.
That timeline brought them back here to Highland Avenue in the final 0.2 miles of the marathon. For Craig and Tom, the next few minutes would determine whether their hard work and exhaustive rides equaled a full marathon or whether they would have to completely start over.
I thought when we hit 26, I thought the 0.2 was a little, short. I was just my intuition from having run many 0.2s at the final end of a marathon.
But after coming down what is sure to be a packed runway come November, the Jones counters provided some good news.
In 15 miles, we are there. We're that far off.
21 clicks.
Yep. No luck involved there, is there?
After riding more than 25,000 yards, the course measurement is short by just 4. A simple solution? Add 2 yards each way in the marathon's hairpin turn at Green Valley Forest Preserve.
It's a big relief. It's pretty amazing considering all the ground we just covered. But I think, if you calibrate and like Craig said, you do your homework and you follow each other closely and tightly along the way, things should go, the way they went this morning.
That's always the big question mark. Did we do it right? We didn't know as we're coming to the finish, we didn't know, are we on, are we 5 feet off, or are we 500 feet off? So it's always nice to hit the finish line like today, or hit one of those markers and say, thank goodness we're on, we're close enough, we can make a tweak out on the course and not have to do the whole process over again.
After filing paperwork with the USATF over the next couple weeks, the Naperville Marathon and Half Marathon courses will be officially certified. And when the runners cross what will surely be a different looking finish line in November, it will be the work of a couple summer cyclists making sure they've covered their magic number, be it 13.1 or 26.2. Reporting from Porter and Loomis, I'm Alex Symonds for the home stretch.
This past season, the North Central College women's lacrosse team finished its campaign just 1 game short of the NCAA tournament. Only 5 seasons earlier, the Cardinals were in their inaugural season, a move years in the making. But why women's lacrosse? And what's the next sport to be added to the Cardinal family of athletics? We took a look at what goes into that process for this Division III powerhouse. North Central College's athletic resume includes 30 team national championships, nearly 120 individual national championships, and continued success has been maintained in recent years. The football team is in the national discussion each season.
Another return for a touchdown for the Cardinals.
The men's basketball team ventured into rarefied air this past season with its first trip to the national Final Four. And North Central's track and field team has remained dominant for years. The men and women swept the 2013 indoor and outdoor CCIW crowns, while the cross-country squad claimed a 2nd consecutive national championship and 3rd in 4 years. But every so often, room for something new comes along.
We really wanted to add another women's sport. We thought that was really important. And there was some call from some of our students on campus that women's lacrosse would be something that they would be really interested in.
This was back in 2008. At the time, no other CCIW school had a varsity program. In fact, the closest program to Naperville was Adrian College in Michigan, a 4-hour drive away. But that didn't stop the school from exploring the addition of the sport. After research, a slightly inflated program budget was sent to the budget committee because of possible travel for the team.
A lot of other places have added women's lacrosse, but at first we were going to have to go to the West Coast, to the East Coast, to St. Louis in order to actually make the number of competitions that we needed. So we had to have a pretty good budget that would support that kind of travel.
We had a goal to be the first team in the conference, the first school in the conference to offer it as a varsity sport. We want to do it, we're going to do it, let's just start with varsity and see where the chips fall where they may from a recruiting standpoint.
The chips fell in some interesting places once they went ahead with adding the team. Only a few players had any experience playing the game. Many were pulled from other varsity sports like soccer. The Cardinals went winless in their first season and won only 4 games the next. But it got better.
The growth in the makeup of the team, it kind of mirrored the growth of the program overall. Just having seen them grow from a group of girls with nothing better to do to a group of serious lacrosse players in just 5 years, it was pretty remarkable.
This past season, the Cardinals finished second in the 3-year-old Midwest Women's Lacrosse Conference, losing the postseason conference tournament by only 1 goal to Augustana College. Over the next 2 seasons, the MWLC will add 6 programs for a total of 15. And by next season, there will also be 5 CCIW schools with women's lacrosse programs. A conference needs 7 teams for an automatic qualifier to the NCAA tournament, so it might be a few years before we see the NCC women's lacrosse team in a CCIW branded conference. North Central's family tree of athletics now includes 22 sports, 11 for each gender, but the balance is more symbolic than necessary. In Division I sports, much is made about Title IX, the 1972 law that's most well known for giving women equal access to sports opportunities.
The balance of having an equal number of sports to the men's and the women's, it's really less of an issue for us because there's not scholarship money involved. But it certainly is something that we like to be able to do here, is be able to offer the same amount of sporting opportunities for men as well as women, because not all the schools that we compete against are able to do that.
So that leaves the possibilities for a future North Central sport wide open. But officials at the college don't want to add a program just for the sake of adding it.
The bottom line is that there's a lot of variables that you need to consider, and you need to ask a lot of other questions. Why are you adding? What does that mean? Who is it impacting?
Much of the impact of a possible new sport could be quantified in the facilities crunch. Where's the new team going to practice? Where are they going to play? In which season do you put the team to minimize impact on the other sports? That's one of the bigger issues as North Central continues internal discussions on the possibility of a new sport down the line.
We've done an investigation for men's volleyball. This area is a hotbed for men's volleyball. We don't have a facility problem. Men's lacrosse, certainly, that's been added. The only problem we have is really space, practice facilities and opportunities, and when that's offered during the fall, running into all the fall sports that we offer.
There's also questions of how the sport is funded, how much equipment needs to be purchased, and who will coach the team. Space is an issue, but just one of many. After all of that, the hope is that enrollment increases and feeds the academic side of the institution.
We need to be the best athletically. We need to bring in the best students so we can have more and more academic success. And I think we've done a really good job in the training of our student athletes to be leaders.
And that couldn't be more true than for Danielle Fiala, who leads the North Central women's lacrosse team as the career leader in goals, assists, shot attempts, and draw controls. The recent Cardinal alum will take the experiences she's learned in Naperville into a day job. She's been named the head coach for a brand new lacrosse program out of Wartburg College in Iowa. She leaves behind a legacy of helping a new program off its feet. As far as the next new program goes, stay tuned.
There's a lot of research and a lot of discussion that goes on with different folks on campus, trying to figure out all the different angles that's going to affect the campus community. So I think it's good that process takes as long as it does, because it forces you to consider all the different angles.
With that in mind, we probably won't see a new sport at NCC for a few years, but that doesn't mean the college is laying dormant. While Fiala's hard at work getting ready for Wartburg's first season, it doesn't get underway until 2015. With only 9 guaranteed games each fall, the majority of Illinois high school football players have a short time to make their mark. As a result, coaches have long tried to find a way to get their players ready in the summer. And now things like 7-on-7 football tournaments are the norm for any off-season program. Alex Symonds made his way to a trio of these competitions around the area.
Green 63, go!
It's not exactly football. It lacks things the Friday night version provides: the crowds, hits, and hogs. But you could call 7-on-7 off-season football the diet version. Each offense fields a quarterback, 5 eligible receivers, and a snapper against a 7-man defense made up of defensive backs and linebackers. Tim O'Halloran has covered Illinois high school football for more than 20 years and has seen the competitions evolve.
The mentality used to be up until 3-4 years ago, it was, go get your work in, you do 10 plays, the other team does 10 plays, and it still kind of happens at this point, but events like this, the Red Grange Classic, it's really kind of exploded in the northern part of the state.
The Red Grange Classic is the third-year brainchild of Wheaton-Warrenville South coach Ron Muhich. 24 teams made their way to Wheaton in late June for pool play in a double elimination tournament. Winner gets a spot in the National Select 7-on-7 tourney in Hoover, Alabama.
The kids like this. This is fun. And that's, we got to get back to something that's fun for kids in high school that has not only teaching merit for me as a coach, but, motivates them to play.
The rules at the Red Grange and other competitions like it go like this. Each series starts at the 45, with first downs at the 30 and 15-yard lines. No running plays are allowed, and a referee counts off 4 seconds to simulate a pass rush. If he reaches 4 seconds before the ball is thrown, the defense earns a sack. Touchdowns are 6 points, and an offense can go for 1 or 2 on the PAT from the 3 or 10-yard line, respectively. The defense can also score. A turnover on downs is worth 2 points, and an interception worth 3.
I just think it gets their juices flowing a little bit, even though it's not exactly 11 on 11. But you get to see how they're going to perform under a little bit more pressure than just your old pickup game.
The coaches from the District 203 and 204 schools got in on the 7-on-7 action for the first time this July, with Naperville Central hosting the 203-204 football jamboree featuring all 5 teams.
We all decided it would be a great opportunity to do this in July and to get all 5 teams here and come out and play each other and not be afraid to play each other and to show the community that we want to compete and beat each other, but we can come out here and have fun and respect each other and showcase our talents.
The evolution of competitions like these has mirrored that of the game itself at the high school level, with the passing game becoming more advanced than ever.
Most teams throwing, their passing game is in mid-season form in the middle of June, so it is your fine-tuning. We're doing things now that you didn't used to be able to put in until, the 3rd or 4th game. So it has progressed, and I don't know if it's better, it's different.
That's what I'm talking about.
Situationally, putting guys in situations and down and distances in the red zone, stuff that 5 years ago you didn't get to till you got to August camp. Well, now when we get to August camp, it's all in, and we're more just fine-tuning as opposed to installing during that time.
Another development in the Illinois football world is Club 7-on-7, with travel teams taking part in tournaments in the winter and spring when high school teams can't hold organized activities. Neuqua wideout and Fighting Illini commit Mikey Dudek is one of many area players who play club in the off-season for Midwest Boom. His main motivation is getting ready for fall Saturdays in the Big Ten.
They actually taught me a lot of stuff, like how to get off the press and how to work against that when I was going against, like the number 2 linebacker in the country each weekend. Just getting better and better going against that great competition.
Central quarterback and ISU commit Jake Colby also played in limited action for Boom, citing the same need for outside competition. But when the squad traveled to club nationals in Florida, the QB stayed home.
Since I made my college decision, I think with like a week left of school, I'm not trying to get more like exposure for that. I know where I want to be, and I'm just trying to I want to win a state title, and I'm gonna work with my team to do that.
Colby mentions his college decision because one of the main draws of Club 7-on-7 is the possibility for college exposure. Nearly all the high school coaches we talk to don't buy it.
This is a team game about the high school you play for, not overly concerned about, what a elite 7-on-7 or where you go in Florida to play. It doesn't matter to us. We're not there watching it. All we care about is what you do on our field.
You don't play for a club in the fall. You play for your high school in the fall. And if you want to win a state title, it's going to be with your high school. It's not going to be with some club.
You know what? The thing I like about football, it's one of the last bastions of non-AAU phenomena. And that's my take on it. They still come to me if they want to talk about one of my kids and where he's going to school. And that's the way we like it.
Although linemen may feel left out of the action, they have an outlet to get their competitive juices flowing as well. Lineman challenges accompany some 7-on-7s like the Red Grange and the Bolingbrook Passing Jamboree. Bolingbrook's event is in its 33rd year and still run by retired Raider coach Phil Acton. It includes an obstacle course, weightlifting competitions, relay races, and a tug of war. Current Raider coach John Ivlow quipped it gives his linemen a chance to show how unathletic they really are.
We try to have fun. We want the kids to come here, to want to come here. There's nothing worse than dreading going to practice. So we don't want that. We want the kids to have fun.
While most 7-on-7 tourneys have shifted to the competitive with referees and scorekeepers, the Bolingbrook event is a throwback, with each team running 25 plays and playing against 5 different teams.
We're all about teaching. I mean, you know, yeah, we could put our 7 best out there and let them get all the reps and compete and stuff, but I'd rather teach the guys that are in on the 2nd and 3rd team and have them know the stuff and be able to use them later on in the year. And that's what some people don't get. I could care less about keeping score and going to Alabama or wherever they go.
Let's go some more, baby. Let's go some more, baby.
But with fall practice kicking off on August 14th and the season starting on the 30th, they'll soon be taking a back seat to the more traditional gridiron fare. I'm Alex Symonds for the home stretch.
We're not done yet. Keep it right here on the home stretch.
Today is Saturday. 60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
The rules of Ultimate Frisbee are simple. You try to catch a disc in the end zone for a point. You can't run with the disc, and you can only hold on to it for 10 seconds. If the pass is incomplete, it's a turnover. But beyond that, the game has evolved into a complex mix of play information and strategic theory, something one of our local teams has gotten pretty good at.
Here we go, Cut Camp. Here we go.
It's the 7:30 wake-up call at Cut Camp.
Time to get going.
Chicago Ultimate Training, the only overnight Ultimate Frisbee camp in the Midwest.
Now that was a sick layout. You know, I'm biased, of course. I feel like my camp is the best. I feel like it offers my campers the best training and it's the best program. Let's go, Cut Camp!
Held this year on the campus of Benedictine University, Cut Camp was created in 2011 by owner and director Arnoush Javaherian. Everyone just calls him Java.
Yeah!
The camp is for high school-aged players, and its purpose is to teach and enhance the game's fundamentals.
Currently, right now, what we're doing is we're going over man-to-man defense. So right now, we're teaching them proper technique, proper footwork.
Cut attracts kids from all over the country.
I'm from Kansas City, Kansas.
I'm from Portland, Maine.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
And from all over the world.
Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
I'm from Taipei, Taiwan.
Campers get one-on-one instruction from current professionals.
Ready? It's in.
Like Georgia Bosher, who won 3 USA Ultimate National titles with the Bay Area Fury.
Is if we spin the disc hard enough.
Josh Rook Shepard, who plays for the Windy City Wildfire.
We want tall, athletic guys on the wings in the deep.
And his teammate Brody Smith, arguably the most famous Ultimate player in the world.
This is the bat shot. Oh, it is!
His YouTube videos have more than 60 million views and are filled with amazing trick shots.
This right here is the world's fastest receiver.
One after another.
I actually found out about Cut because of Brody's videos.
Cut Camp, it's going to be really awesome. It's going to be really fun.
I got interested in watching videos on YouTube and stuff, and I saw Brody Smith on YouTube, and I saw a video about Cut Camp.
I'm excited to meet everyone that's coming.
Last year went really well. We had 1 week session, and this year we decided to do 2 weeks.
So sometimes you'll play against someone, and you'll actually play behind.
I think it's just a great opportunity for kids to just be around Ultimate all the time for a full week and just get really good.
I gotta be honest with you, Brody is a class act. One of the best people I've ever met in the Ultimate world. And he's really pushed the sport to a level that we've never been to.
What's happening, everybody? Day 2 in Dubai, no big deal.
I've actually had the luxury of being able to travel around the world playing Ultimate, and every country they have a different style of Ultimate, whether it's on offense or defense, different zones. I think it's important to not just learn the fundamentals, but also learn kind of what's going on in the game right now.
Wow, what a catch. He's able to tow it, keep it in.
Currently, there are 2 professional leagues, the AUDL and the MLU. Both began in 2012, 44 years after a group of high schoolers in Maplewood, New Jersey created Ultimate. The Ultimate Players Association, known today as USA Ultimate, began in 1979 to be the sport's governing body. It does not, however, control the AUDL and MLU. Currently, the USAU sanctions play of over 700 college teams in North America. There are 4 club divisions and 2 youth divisions, which include junior high and high school players.
All right, guys, it is a beautiful day, as promised. See, I promised, I delivered, all right?
Java's journey into the ultimate world began in 1995, where he was introduced to the game as a senior at Rockford Guilford High School. That year, he got a job as a counselor at Wisconsin's Camp Bieber and taught the game of ultimate for the next 9 summers.
I really fell in love with the sport. Every summer, I would look forward to playing it. And then at the point where I would play in adult leagues. And I even went out for the University of Illinois team. And to be honest with you, I didn't stick with it. I was young and naive, and I just wanted to hang out with my friends at the time. And it's really actually one of my big regrets that I didn't stick with it in college.
Neuqua Valley hired Java as a teacher in 2007. Word got out that he wanted to start an ultimate club, and it caught the attention of junior Ben Raymond.
Ben played a very important role in starting up this club. Pulled me out of my science office and he's like, hey, my name is Ben. I heard you want to start an ultimate club.
And from there, we just kind of started talking about it, and he got a lot of the logistical stuff done while I got a lot of the recruitment done.
Practice began in March of 2008. 48 students came out, allowing head coach Javaherian to create an A, B, and C team.
Lo and behold, to my surprise, the club just grew and the sport just grew, and it kind of just grew as fast as possible without really even pushing it that much.
By 2011, the program almost tripled in size with 134 players, making Neuqua Valley Ultimate the largest high school club in the United States. The boys' A team won its first state title, beating Jacobs in the championship game 13-9.
I knew that that year our program was on the rise. And I knew from hearing from all these other programs that all the other programs were year-round programs. And I said to myself, I'm like, if I want my program to be one of the top 5 in the nation, this is what I need to do. I need to devote myself to it year-round.
And so in May of 2011, Java left his job as an assistant cross-country coach to begin coaching ultimate year-round. It started with summer conditioning and the first ever cut camp. He then created both fall and winter rec leagues. Java became a better student of the game, studying different techniques and strategies.
And I gotta be honest with you, I've spent the last 3 or 4 years really devoting myself to learning the sport of ultimate and becoming better at it. And I think that that's shown and that my teams have gotten better every year.
Everything was beginning to line up for Neuqua by the spring of 2012. They went on to win their second state title over Jacobs, and even more impressive was their finish at arguably the toughest high school tournament in the nation, the Paideia Cup. The Wildcats finished in 3rd place by beating national powerhouse Amherst for the first time in program history.
That was really the big step. And that was a group of seniors that had been playing together for about 3 years that came together with one common goal, and we beat Amherst. And it was really interesting because this year, coming into 2013, a lot of people said it would be a year that would be a rebuilding year for us, that we wouldn't be as good.
In 2013, Neuqua earned even more recognition. The club had more than 200 kids.
You guys are making a statement, you guys are rocking Jacobs' world, and you guys are going to put this game away quickly.
And after winning their 3rd state title, the Wildcats beat Hopkins for the first time, a nationally top-rated program out of Minnesota. They won the Madison Mud Bath Tournament for the first time and had their highest finish ever at the Central Championships, taking 2nd only to Holy Family.
There's 4 or 5 programs out there right now that we consider ourselves in the same breath of. That's Amherst in Massachusetts, Paideia in Atlanta, Hopkins up in Minneapolis, and Holy Family in Cincinnati.
Congratulations, you guys. Don't ever get tired of them.
Java attributes success to the dedication coaches and players bring to the program. Perhaps it was shown most one late winter day.
I'll say it's about 5, 6, maybe even 7 inches. And we had a big tournament coming up in a week, and we had to get in practice. And I told them to bring shovels, and they brought shovels, and as a team, basically shoveled out a box about 30 by 30 yards, and we practiced in that box all day. And I'll tell you what, they came together as a team, and they practiced as a team, and they shoveled as a team. And that day will always stick in my head because that was the day that the kids realized we need to work hard today in order to stay one of the top 4 teams in the nation.
Another plus for the program is the adjacent Frontier Park, allowing more than enough practice space, an issue Naperville Central Ultimate has always dealt with. The lack of open field space near campus forces the team to practice at Lincoln Park, a half-mile southeast of Edward Hospital.
If you have field space, You know, it's like that. If you build it, they will come. You know, if you have the space, they'll come. But if kids can see you right out the window throwing a Frisbee around, they're going to go, you know what, maybe I'll go try that. But if they have to go past the cemetery, down another half mile to the river, it's a little bit harder for them to find it. Our numbers aren't solid. Like this year was our best year, and we had 22 kids on our roster. One of the things that Neuqua has, besides a school of 4,000 and some odd, is they have field space. And Java's just a charismatic guy, and he's going to say, hey, you should be coming out.
You know, we have a fall youth program, and we have a winter youth program, we have a spring youth program. You can do Ultimate as much as you want.
Awesome.
I'll get all the information out to you guys later. Actually, like a statistic that came out that said 5 million people in America play Ultimate right now. And I would not be surprised in the next 5, 10 years, that number doubles or even triples. And I gotta be honest with you, probably the next 10 or 15 years, I think Ultimate will be a normal feature on ESPN. I think it's growing that rapidly, and as you can see behind me, I have 140 kids out for the summer camp. And it's just wonderful, and it's awesome. And I'll tell you right now that this number was only a dream 4 or 5 years ago. And now we're hitting these numbers, and to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie, I expect these numbers to go up every year from now on.
That's it for this edition of the Home Stretch, but not to worry, we still have one more episode on the summer docket. We hope you can tune in for that as well. I'm Justin Zipser. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.